Hello, everyone! Hi, everyone! I know we don't normally do live streams on Fridays anymore, but as I promised earlier in the week, I want to start doing more live streams, so I want to move to start doing about 3 live streams a week. So I hope
Hello,
that's more
everyone.
than enough for
Hi,
you
every.
guys. I'm also going to launch memberships next week, and I'm going to explain what perks you get with that soon, so stay tuned to that. But everyone who is here, welcome. I'm just going to say hi before we get into it. Hi, Shay. Hi, Yasmin. Hi, Clement. Hi, Tom Nook. Hi, Maggie Kitchen. Hi, The Best Comic King. Hi, Connor. Hi, Philip. I see a lot of new names here. Interesting. Hi, Technotic Sheep. Hi, Ocean Lizard. Hi, Planet Care. Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Luciana. Hi, Cindy Toast. Hi, Maduko. Hi, Andy Lee. Hi, Zoe Lung. Hi, Elena. Hi, Amy. Hi, Jared. Hi, Green Teletubby. Hi, Official Joke Mobs. There's so many of you. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Philip K. Hi, Amy. Hi, Ray. Hi, Georgiana. All right. Hi, Christina Aguilera. Hi, Luciana. Hi, Yusuf. I can't say hi to everyone. There's so many people, but welcome. Today we're just going to talk about Nimona. This will be a spoiler discussion, so just a warning. I will let you know when I'm about to talk spoilers, but generally this will be a spoiler discussion. I just saw the movie. I think it's really, really good, but I am going to get into more specifics in a minute. I'm also going to do a whole Nimona focus video where I'm going to talk about the Disney drama, because let me explain what Nimona is for those of you who might be like, what the heck is that, and why are we talking about it? Firstly, has anyone seen the movie? Does anyone know what I'm talking about with Nimona? Who's seen it? Waiting for the chat to catch up. Yes, I'm reviewing it, Jamie. I was always going to get to it, I just had to find time. Alright. Chat isn't moving. Okay, there we go. I think there's something a little bit off about the chat. Sim123 says, Hi Brittany, Nimona is one of the best animated films. Disney will regret this. Disney should have kept it for sure. A lot of people have seen it, okay, but a few haven't. For the people who haven't seen it, I am going to go over the plot, so hopefully you won't be lost. But most of you looks like have seen it by now, so that's good. Alright, so let me explain the drama around Nimona before we get into the review. So if you don't know, this movie has been in development for many years. Like, many years. This was supposed to come out a long time ago, but when it was mid development, that's when Disney bought Fox, because this was supposed to be a Fox movie. But when Disney bought Fox, they decided they didn't want to release Nimona. They didn't think it was good for their brand, so they literally didn't even let them finish it, despite the animators, the directors, the producers, everyone begging Disney to, like, just give them a chance. But Disney just outright rejected the film, wouldn't even let them finish. And then years later, Netflix was like, okay, we'll finish your film. We'll offer them money to finish it. So now it's a Netflix movie when it could have been a Disney movie. And after seeing it, honestly, I think Disney should have kept it. I think it was the wrong move to give it away. I think I understood why they thought they couldn't release it, but I think that mindset speaks to a lot of why a lot of their Disney animated films, both Pixar and Disney animation, are coming across just like really mid right now. Because the thing that I love the most about Nimona is how many risks it takes. Past analysis says Nimona feels undercooked. Interesting. Jamie just says Disney sucks. That's fair. Yeah, Disney definitely screwed up Cindy Toast. I know. For a while I honestly didn't think this movie was ever going to see the light of day. I don't think it would have if Netflix hadn't taken it. Yeah, Maggie, we'll talk about this in a second. I think Critter Ray says Disney's trying to pretend they care about LGBT these days. That's the thing. Disney is absolutely just the worst with their representation. Like, I would say out of all the studios, they probably get it the most wrong. Because whenever they try to offer representation, they end up making everyone mad across the entire political spectrum. Like, they make no one happy. And I think the reason is because when they try to add LGBT characters is usually like someone that's so small, like it's a small cutaway scene that you could just cut for foreign audiences. So it's not even like good representation. And then, of course, the homophobes don't like it because they don't like anything gay at all. And so you just ended up making everyone upset. So it's like, I feel like Disney either needs to commit or don't even bother with this half-assness when it comes to the representation. Does anyone agree? I haven't read the graphic novel, Kiefer. Um, Natanya says, oh, Natanya agrees with me. Georgiana says, and not to mention that they always end up canceling the project. Yeah. Yeah. Nimona takes so many risks that I don't think Disney allows themselves to do anymore. But the thing is, the risk taking is what makes this movie good. Oh, hi, Yellow Umbrella, you made it! I'm glad you can make it. Yusuf says Disney can pray for Wish to be good. Oh man, they need Wish to be a hit. Right now, Guardians is Disney's only hit this year. That's it. Elena says, I love the fact that the characters were gay, was just part of the story and it wasn't just ticking the box. Exactly. A lot of Disney's representation just feels like box ticking, and it almost feels like there's almost like a wink and a nod, like, hey guys, they're gay. Like, it's almost like like, it. For example, has anyone seen the movie Jungle Cruise? It starred The Rock and Emily Blunt. It came out a few years ago. I actually really liked the movie, and in that movie, it had a gay character, and I liked that it had a gay character that was fine. But what they did, which is like emblematic of what Disney gets wrong about representation, is that they decided to stop the entire movie for one scene for the character to like have this drawn out sad monologue story about what it's like being gay. And it's like, you didn't have to do that, Disney. Now you've made this entire character's thing is that he's just gay. And then you stop the whole story to do it and pay attention to it. And now it doesn't feel organic anymore. That's the kind of stuff that they do that I think really rubs people the wrong way. Good representation is what they do with Nimona, where they actually incorporate it into the story and they don't make the character seem like virtue signaling. I don't know. It just feels more organic to the story, and I'm going to explain why I think that. Yeah, past analysis says Disney is caught in the underwhelming middle. Yeah. Yeah, Aubrey, it paints gay people in a very depressing light. I was talking about the Jungle Cruise movie. Came out like a couple years ago. Artsy Amelia says, yeah, they did Jungle Cruise wrong, to be honest. Yeah. Rat Tatooey says, oh, I like your name. To be honest, I don't think Disney cares for any representation. They're just trying to avoid being called out for their lack of it, hence The Little Mermaid. Yeah, I do think a lot of it almost comes across as like panicking. You know? I almost want to show you guys something. I don't know. Oh no, I can't. It probably is copyrighted. Never mind. But there's this whole show I didn't know about. It's called The Other Side, I think. But they parodied Disney and what they think Disney representation meetings are like. And they're like, yes, we should just make this blob gay. And then it's like, are you sure this blob has a sexuality? It's really, really funny, but it makes fun of how Disney does representation. And then it actually became even funnier because then in Elemental, they actually did make one of the blobs non-binary. And so everyone was like, wow, that's what that show was talking about. It's like they're beyond parody at this point. Sylvia says Disney sits on the fence trying to make as much money as possible. Yeah, but when you sit on the fence, what you end up doing is like not making anyone happy, which is where Disney finds itself. Why so late, Prince? Are you talking about me talking about Nimona? Honestly, I wasn't really sure if I was going to cover it at first, but people really seem to be loving it, so I'm like, all right, maybe it's time to cover it. Official Joke Mob says, Brittany, can you do a Pixar movie tier list? Ooh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that for a live stream. The Best Comic King says, have you watched, I haven't watched She-Ra, no. I know it's on Netflix, I just haven't gone around to it. All right, let's get into this actual review and we can really break apart this movie piece by piece. Uh, what is going on? Oh, we have 169 of you watching now, so if all of you guys could hit that like button, that would be great. All 169 of you. I see 49 likes. Hit the like button. All right, hold on. I'm trying to get to the thing. All right, so let's start from the very beginning, because there's a lot I like about this movie. There was some things I was hesitant about at first. I honestly, at the beginning of the movie, I wasn't quite sure if I was gonna like it, but it did eventually win me over. But I have to say, one of the things that Nimona does perfectly right off the bat is the world building. Love the world building. I love how it's like futuristic meets medieval. I have never seen that before, so I thought that was a pretty unique take on it. I also really like this seeing the city and how lived in it looks. Like take Elemental, like Elemental City from the movie Elemental. I never quite believed that city was lived in. It always just looked like backgrounds to me. Whereas with this city, it actually looked like these characters lived here. Like this city, I believed this city was real, you know? I love the animation too. It was gorgeous. Yeah, Nick Jess, the art looks very good. Her facial expressions were also pretty good. The animation in general was like honestly way better than Teenage Kraken, the DreamWorks movie I just saw. Like I think if Teenage Kraken had been in this art style, even with the same story, it probably would have been more interesting. Which I think adds weight to my theory that the reason that movie bombed so hard was because of the art style. It almost looks like Arcane. Yeah, the movie is very emotional, Yusuf. Yes, exactly, Nick. You get what I'm talking about. This actually looks like a real city. Elemental. I never bought that it was a real city. It just felt very fake to me. It does. The animation style is very reminiscent of Arcane. Very much so. And I also liked that it started off with going through like a storybook. Like very much at times I could see this being a Disney movie. Like a lot of Disney princess movies, especially the older ones, they start with like going through an enchanted book, or they show you all the pictures and they tell you the background of what happens in this world. And this movie opens the exact same way, even with art style that kind of reminds me of Sleeping Beauty. Like I'm showing you a clip of it here. Like Disney could have easily made this theirs, but they chose not to, and that was a mistake. Yeah, the Shrek start. I like you call it the Shrek start. Very Shrek-esque, I agree. And I have to say, I love the relationship between, oh god, what's their names? The two main boyfriends in the movie. First of all, I knew very little about this movie going into it. I just heard that it was really good. I didn't want to be spoiled about anything, so I didn't even know that there was a gay couple in this. But I like that they didn't try to hide it, but I also like that they didn't try to exceptionalize them. Do you know what I mean? There's a very fine difference between just portraying a couple, like they did in this, as a normal couple, and then portraying them as like, oh, look how virtuous we're being. Oh, they're gay, guys. Don't forget that they're gay. Did we remind you that they're gay? And I feel like a lot of Disney's representation and just representation in other Hollywood projects do the latter a lot. And that's when it starts to come across as like a little bit patronizing. This movie never did that. This movie never was like, try to make it a big deal that they were gay. They just were. They were just a normal, happy, relatable couple, and I think that's what made this work. I'm glad that you're not missing any of my live streams, Yellow Umbrella. That makes me happy. Critter Ray says, I love how they treated them as straight couples and not special. That's exactly what I mean, yeah. It was just a normal couple as they should be. Ballister, thank you. Yes, preach, Natanya. Okay. Thank you. I'm glad you guys agree. Because I know this stuff can get, like, touchy. I'm not saying we shouldn't have representation. I'm just saying make it good. Ambrosius, thank you. Ballaster and Ambrosius. I just watched this movie yesterday, so I'm sorry if I don't have the name straight. Um, Yellow Umbrella says, yeah, Disney was like, yeah, we have a lesbian couple in Lightyear. And then they didn't even, like, give you the lesbian couple, really. Like, barely a peck on a kiss. Like, that's the things that Disney does all the time. And I just like more of the world building, how the opening showed you all the newscasters talking, like, very reminiscent of, like, a future New York. Very cool. Love the art style, too. I also liked a lot of the fashion, a lot of the knight armor that they wore. Like, I don't know if you guys were doing the same, but a lot of the times I was looking in the background of what the background actors were wearing, because the fashion was cool. Like, you could tell they put a lot of time and effort into this, because, like, every person was different in the background. It was really neat. And I just like the way the armor looked. Like, the animation is great. Auntie says the relationship genuinely felt genuine. Oh, definitely felt genuine, not something with a spotlight on it at all times. Exactly. And I feel like you can always tell the difference. That's the thing. Oh, thank you, Final Fantasy. No, I've not seen Owl House yet. So many people keep recommending it to me. Maybe I gotta try it. Yeah, I love Nimona's backstory. We're gonna get to that later. But this twist, oh my god. This twist here. I was not expecting it. Not at all. Again, I didn't want to know anything about this movie before I watched it, so I went in not knowing anything about the plot. So all the twists were new to me. And I didn't know that he was going to be framed and that the movie was going to open with the dude killing the queen. That was a great way to start the movie. What a way to, like, set up stakes to your world by, like, literally killing the queen within, like, the first 5 to 10 minutes. And it's the main character and he's set up for it. I mean, that's good. This is just good writing here. Um, Madoka says the movie was a twist and a twist, and it made me love it. Yes, so many twists, and I didn't see most of them coming, so I thought this was a fun movie. That's the thing. This wasn't another generational trauma storyline. It wasn't about living up to the expectations of your parents or whatever, like the million Disney movies right now. And it had a wholly different, completely new, original, fresh story that I hadn't seen before. And that was exciting. Disney needs something like that. Owl House has good representation. That's good. Um, I hadn't watched the trailer either, Jay. Like, I wanted to go into this completely fresh. Holly Sheet says, my question is, why were there no heirs after the Queen? The director just took over. Well, I think they established at the beginning that the plan was to let him succeed or, like, choose someone else to succeed. I don't think she was planning to have any heirs. At least that's how I interpreted it. I haven't seen Indiana Jones yet. I heard it was kind of boring, but then some people say it's good. And to be honest, I'm not really big on Indiana Jones. It's just not for me. I'm glad you like my videos, Black Guy. I mean, but this was a good twist. And again, it's very dark, and I like how they portrayed how the big box screen above them, like, smashed into pieces. It was just very cinematic and epic. It felt wide scale. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like there were actual stakes to everyone involved, to the whole, like, city, in fact, because they did a good job setting this up as being a ceremony that was so important, only for then the main character to kill the queen was like, oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty clever. Disney would never do something that bold because they're too scared to. And I think that's what's hurting their movies and why they're feeling a bit too mid. Because I think they're, like, writing these movies with kid gloves on. And I know they're supposed to be kids' movies. I get it. But they were able to make, for a long time, kids' movies that everyone enjoyed. And I feel like they're not doing that anymore. I love the colors of the city, too. Just the movie visually looks beautiful. Thank you, Yusuf. Desire says, do you want to make your own movie? I would love to make my own movie one day. I have a whole story in my mind. Oh, I have a super chat from Dee Dee. Do you know why Disney turned this down? Sorry if you already answered this. I just got here. I think Disney turned this down because they saw how much gay was in it and they freaked out. I think that is honestly it. I think they saw that there's a gay relationship in it, and then Nimona's transformations are obviously like a trans allegory, and they freaked out. I think, especially with all the political scandal that they're in with Florida and everything, I think they're gonna play it real safe right now. And I think this was like too scandalous for them. Britney's gonna make Barbie too. No, I'm gonna leave Greta Gerwig to do that. Yeah, I know. Barbie got banned in Vietnam for the stupidest reason. Um, Wait. Yeah, everyone misses the old Disney. I wish they would go back. It's really disappointing. Cuz this movie is so good, and honestly, I think it's more interesting than like I think this movie is more interesting and better written than any Disney animated movie they've put out probably since. Oh man, it's been years. I'm trying to think of a recent Disney animated film, Pixar too, that I think is actually better than Nimona, and I can't think of one. Not one recent one. Can you guys think of one? Because honestly, I would have to go back to like Pixar's golden years, like to maybe like I don't know, Wally or something, or at least I don't know. That's the thing. This movie deals with so many like deep, dark subject matters, like the fact that both of these people are outcasts and that she literally knows that people want to kill her and that multiple like the villain, we'll get to the villain. I haven't talked about the villain yet, but the villain actually tries to kill people on screen. Like I know you can't show that in a Disney movie, but there's got to be a way to make your villains actually mean. And I like that this movie had a villain that was actually mean. It's just many things. Encanto? You guys think Encanto was better? Coco? I'm glad you guys like Encanto. Encanto I thought was alright. I think the music is better than the movie itself, but I know a lot of people really love it. Yeah, this movie had a good villain. Inside Out? I was thinking Inside Out. This might be the best like animated film since Inside Out, like better than any of the Disney ones. Tangled is very good, but that's in like 2010. Encanto's overrated, said Claire DeLu. I kind of agree. Don't tell anyone. Encanto is great, okay, but most of you think Encanto's great. I know I'm in the minority with that one. But Frochina agrees with me. I think Encanto is popular because of the music. But, I don't know. Zootopia is good. So maybe, like, since about 2015, 2016, so we can agree that it's been, like, several years since Disney's made a really great animated film. Because I think that's true. Brave. Some of you guys are saying, like, movies that came out over 10 years ago. That's bad. That's really bad. Although kind of accurate. But, okay. I do have one negative for this movie. For about the first act, I wasn't entirely sure I was gonna like Nimona, just because I could see her getting a little annoying. Like, she obviously got on Ballister's nerves, and I was a little worried that she was gonna get on my nerves too, because she was so hyperactive and, like, always talking and always doing something. But by the middle of the movie, I had completely been won over, and I ended up loving Nimona by the end of the film. But at first, I was a little nervous because she was so hyperactive. I was like, oh no, is she gonna be annoying? Even when she started, like, shape-shifting, I was like, oh, this is a lot. But I did come around to her. Amy Aguilera says, why Barbie got banned. Okay, so do you guys know the scene in the trailer for Barbie where she's talking to the crazy-looking Barbie, Kate McKinnon, and she has, like, a map of the world behind her? Well, Vietnam didn't like the map, apparently, because it acknowledged some territory that they didn't like or whatever. Yeah, some really stupid political reason. Holly Sheet agrees with me. Yeah, she grew on me. I wasn't sure about her at first because she was very intense, but yeah. Once I got to understand her backstory and where she was coming from and why she acted that way, I think that's what made me like her. Nick just says Wish has the best chance of having a classic Disney movie feel. I agree. I think that's why I'm the most excited for Wish over anything else. I'm a little worried about Elio, to be honest. Um, but again, this villain, she's very, very good. She's not trying to be a good person. She's not a misunderstood character. She doesn't have some tragic backstory. She just thinks that she has one particular way of how she wants the city to be run, and she will not let anyone get in her way, including the queen. And so the fact that we eventually get to see her like try to hurt people, like actually try to kill people, it's like, wow, when's the last time we allowed a villain to just be mean? It doesn't like almost doesn't happen anymore. Alex Ocharov says, "Thank God Disney didn't get Nimona because they were going to ruin it." Oh yeah, if Disney had decided to keep this movie, they would have cut out like all the gay stuff. They would have cut out like all the edginess. They would have made it the most blandest, watered down version of it possible. You're absolutely right. Um, Desiree, I definitely think Barbie's going to be a huge hit. Again, when she started turning into the animals, again, because I knew absolutely nothing about this going in, I was like, oh, she can do that? I didn't know. But at that point, it only added to the a lotness of Nimona, and I was like, oh man, she's really hyperactive. I don't know. But again, she grew on me. I kind of liked the shape shifting after a bit, but at first it really did throw me. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I should have at least watched the trailer. I did think it was pretty cool how they used the shape shifting. I thought it made the action scenes a lot more dynamic and interesting because you never knew what animal she was going to turn into. So I do like the action scenes. The action scenes in this were actually very good. And I love that the two characters were outcasts, like, and they were both ended up being framed for murders they didn't commit. So that just, these characters were actually interesting because they were flawed. In my Elemental video, I mentioned how I didn't think the characters in that film were interesting. And this is what I mean. With Wade and Ember and Elemental, the biggest flaw that they had was that with Ember, like, she couldn't really interact with water very much. Like, she still was a very self-assured, confident person. Like, she didn't really have many personal flaws. Her biggest flaw was something you couldn't really fault her for. And I think that's what made her, to me, at least not a very interesting character or memorable one. But these are interesting characters because they're actually flawed people. Like, both of them have deep shit that they're going through. And I think that's what makes them more relatable. But again, Disney just sanitizes all of that. And I think that's why they're having such a mid-crisis. It is a spoiler stream nature, Rose. Nick just says, action scenes in an animated movie, we can't do that. I know. Disney doesn't even do action scenes in their animated movies anymore. Not really. Like, Puss in Boots also had really good action scenes, too. I don't know why they don't do those anymore. Yeah, Ember's Temper. That was okay, but they didn't really, like, utilize it much. They had it in the very beginning, but then they never really addressed it towards the end. Like, I don't know, they could have done more with Ember's anger, to be honest. Um, oh yeah, the shrinking reference. Another joke that Disney definitely would have cut. I'm glad you like Riot, Georgiana. Yeah, Wade's flaw is that he's too caring. Past analysis. That's what makes Wade kind of a blah character. You can't make the flaws of your character something that's really a strength because that's not interesting. Wade's whole flaw in Elemental was just that he was too emotional and cries at everything. That's not really a flaw. He's just a caring person. You know what I mean? That's the kind of thing Disney does now. It's like their villains can't be too mean. The main protagonist can't be too happy, too flawed. It's just a whole lot of mid because they don't want to go too extreme in either direction. And I think this movie shows what they could be doing if they just like took off the boxing gloves a little and just got a little dirty. Again, the action scenes I really thought was cool. Like, I liked the one where they were running through the hallway and she was shape shifting a lot. That was pretty neat. I liked that they were bonding, that she was always changing into something different. I liked that they experimented with a lot of the art styles. Like when they did Nimona's backstory, they did it in a different art style, which is really neat. Again, something I think Disney needs to do more of. Um, Grace likes to draw. Oh, hi, Grace likes to draw. Seriously, sorry. Seriously, what happened in 1959 seeing Maleficent get stabbed? Nowadays, it would probably be banned. Oh, yeah. You would never see anyone get stabbed in a modern Disney animated film. That would be too edgy. But you're right. A lot of their older movies were a lot edgier than what they would do now. Like Disney used to have a bit of edge to them, but now it's like they're so sanitized, and I think that's why they're just kind of riding on this like mediocre level, most of them. Voice acting in this movie was top tier, Jamie. Very true. Chloe Grace Moretz voices the main character of Nimona, and this is probably the best performance she's ever given. I did not know she had this much range. Her voice acting was incredible. It didn't even sound like her. Mufasa got killed, yes. But even in the live action Mulan, I'm not Mulan, the live action Lion King, when Mufasa died, even that was like the most like PG way possible, you know? Like, it's just, I don't know. But yes, I love Nimona's backstory and how they slowly like told you what had happened. They didn't tell you everything at once. They slowly teased out her backstory. I thought how they revealed everything was really clever. And then when we find out that, of course, the director was behind it all, I was like, oh, the director, she's terrible, she's evil. Finally, an evil villain. All I could be was just happy because I was like, oh man, she set up that guy and now she's gonna get the guy's boyfriend, Ambrosius, to kill his own ex. I mean, that's some evil stuff right there. I was just happy because I was like, yes, a villain, finally. Arvin says the darkest thing on Disney recently was Ariel killing her aunt. Yeah, true. I don't even really remember that scene very well. I feel like it was mostly in the dark. That just shows you how much the movies stick with you. I'm already like, I know I just saw that movie, but I don't even remember that scene. The Blue Gecko Nerd says most voice actors sound different. Not everyone is gonna sound the same, especially when it comes to voicing a character. Some voice actors do sound like them, like Gilbert Godfrey. Very famous voice actor, but he already has like a very like iconic talking voice, so he can get away with it. But yeah, Chloe, she didn't sound anything like herself. I was very impressed. Yes, evil for evil's sake. We need more of that. And that was the director for sure. And then when she thought she killed Ambrosius, I was like, oh, damn. Literally stabbed a sword through him. I was like, oh, she's brutal. She's ruthless. Yes, give me more, queen. I was really into it. But of course, we know it wasn't actually him. But then we finally got the backstory, like Nimona's actual backstory. And it just adds so many more layers to Nimona's story. And this is when I really started loving her. When we find out that her and Glorith, if you haven't seen the movie, the whole lore of the city is that this woman, Glorith, I think her name was, defeated this monster long, long ago. And that's why the whole city hates monsters. But you find out that whole lore that the whole city believes is a lie, and that Nimona wasn't a monster. She was set up by her best friend. Oh man, that was so good. And I didn't see this twist coming. Very, very good twist. I know you guys are crying. Literally, I was like, oh no, she was set up the whole time. This is what I mean by like good, memorable characters. Because then by this point in the movie, I was like, oh, Nimona, I want you to kill everyone. Just go crazy. Like, I was just so on her side because we had been through this emotional journey with her through this point that I was like, oh, this is rough. This is really, really rough. So, yeah, her backstory was incredible. I really loved it. Glorith, it was Glorith. Okay, got it right. I cried. Yeah, I didn't cry, but I was like crying on the inside. It was definitely emotional. It was really well done though. How like the whole thing unfolded. I didn't know any of that was coming, so that twist did catch me by surprise. That was good. Oh man, I love these emojis you guys are using. The best comic king says Nimona's backstory was told well, although again my problem was that the twist about her friend and Nimona felt a bit handholdy. I can see that it is a bit like a very clean way to tie in together the myth of the city with the main characters. I can see that, but for me it just works so much that I didn't care. I just thought it was really good. Why are you guys talking about an Edna Mode movie? Where is this coming from? Disney does need to be taking notes. Very true. All right. And then the final battle. Oh my god. Chef's kiss, man. It reminded me of the final battle in the first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender. If you guys have seen that show, where Aang turns into a huge water monster, it was kind of the same sequence, but this time Nimona turns into this huge kaiju and just goes crazy, havocing the town after she's so hurt because she thinks that uh, Ballister left her and betrayed her, and it's like, oh my god. At this point, literally in the final battle, I was like on the edge of my seat. Like, this movie had me on the edge of my seat, guys. I haven't had that in a long time. It was just so good. Yeah, the final battle broke me. Oh, the last attempt. You didn't like the last twist. That's okay. Comic Court. Oh, yeah, I didn't think of Avatar. It reminded me of Avatar a lot, actually. When she screams, the scream was so good. And then just how the animation looked. Like, look at this. Look at how cool this looks. And I'm going to take away me because I want you guys to see the whole image here. And how you can see the bombs off of her back. Like, look at how big and epic this is. Again, it doesn't feel small scale. It feels real. Again, in Elemental, I never felt that city felt big. It always felt really tiny. This place feels real and huge. Like, there's actual scale here. When she almost stabbed herself, it's so relatable. Oh god, I hope that's not relatable. I'm sorry. But yes, that the scene where she does almost stab herself is pretty intense. I didn't see that coming either. I was like, holy crap. Oh, I thought I had a picture for this. What? Sorry. I thought I had a picture for the stabbing part, but yeah, she almost kills herself because she's like, oh man, everyone wants to kill me anyway. And I'm like, oh my god, the main character is just gonna die? And just gonna kill herself in front of everyone? That is metal. And thankfully, Ballister saves her. And for a brief second, you're like, oh, maybe there's gonna be a happy ending. But no. Because this bitch was like, you know what? This night hasn't been dramatic enough. I'm gonna just blow up half the city. And you're just like, what? Yes, be evil. I love you. But then, of course, as soon as you think everything is finally good, she sacrifices herself again, for real this time, and gets herself killed, I guess? I think she's dead. Trying to save the whole city. And then that's how the movie ends. And you're just like, wait, what? She died? Huh? Again, Disney would never do something so raw and so metal. Amy Aguilera says, by the way, Britt, how much could Nimona make in theaters if it was released? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. How much would Nimona make in theaters? I think it would make more than, like Strange World. I think this could have actually made good money. Maybe more than Elemental. I don't know. I think this could have been a hit because it's a really big hit on Netflix currently. That's the thing. Disney didn't want it because they thought it was too controversial, but then it became a huge hit on Netflix, so they clearly missed out. I think it could have done well. These days movies are meh. I have to agree, Yusuf. 150? I think it could have. Well, 150 total, yeah. 150 domestic total. I think it could have done that. The director was so unhinged. Yeah, that lady was just ready to kill anybody. The moment the director was like, "I'm just gonna blow up half the city," I was just like, "What?" And then I think, who was it? Was it Ambrosius that was like, you do realize if you blow up half the city, people are gonna die. She was just like, well, as long as Nimona dies too, I don't care. Like, such a hater. Oh my god, she was a hater. You hate Strange World, Maggie? Yeah. Strange World was not good. I have a whole video on Strange World on my channel if you haven't watched it yet. Albatross says Nimona can apparently survive things that could kill the average human. Yes. And I think at the very, very end, like, Ballister comes home and you hear Nimona's voice, so I guess they're teasing a sequel for how she might come back, but I don't know how. I kind of wanted to get a sequel. I really like this movie. Oh, you still think the villain's mid? I thought this was a good villain. Yeah, and she did full on admit to killing the queen. There was no like, oh, she accidentally just fell over the cliff. It was like, no, Nimona straight up killed the queen. Or the director. Like, she just straight up murdered that woman. Which, honestly, still, very metal. Yeah, I don't think Nimona's gonna stay dead. I think they're gonna make a sequel. The movie's a big hit on Netflix. Okay. Past analysis says, I thought the villain was a pretty villain. Do you mean like a pretty good villain? Oh, you meant pretty mid. Oh, okay. So what's a good villain to you guys? If you guys think the director is just mid, who's like a good villain to you guys? It is based on a book. Maggie, I don't think a lot of people knew when Strange World came out. They did not market that movie. Is number 6 on movie? Official Joke Mom says, Brittany, can you tell us a little bit more about your movie that you're planning? Oh, well, it's not. This is like in a dream world where I had a studio that would spend hundreds of millions on a movie for me, but actually, it's the same story that I'm thinking of turning into a podcast, so I'll let you know sooner when I work on that. Darth Vader. But that's such an old villain, though. I'm talking about a recent villain. I thought this was a good villain, to be honest. And I also like that the two boyfriends they made up at the end, so we actually get a nice happy gay couple. I mean, it was just, I like this movie a lot. I think this movie, again, it took a lot of chances that I don't think Disney ever would dare to go nowadays, which is exactly what's holding them back. And I think they should have kept this movie. I think this would have been the perfect excuse to try something new, but they whiffed it. That's what I think of the movie. Um, but yeah, overall, I really, really liked it. I hope they do a sequel. So, I'm just going to answer more of your questions about the film. You guys can, I'm going to open up this section to other questions as well. We'll just do basic Q&A for about another 15 minutes. But yes, that was my review of Nimona. I am going to do a longer separate video that's coming up next week, so look forward to that. But what do you guys think? Hopper from A Bug's Life. Oh, that's a good villain. I did like him. But again, that's such an old villain. What's a recent one? Oh, the villain is boring. Oh, man. I guess we have different opinions on this one. A good villain would be Mother Gothel. I do like Mother Gothel, but that movie came out 13 years ago. Has there been a good movie with a good villain in the past 13 years? Because according to this chat, there hasn't. Spot. Okay, Spot. That's a good one. Yes. Anything from Disney, though? Yes, there is a Toy Story 5 coming. It's coming in a few years, and I actually think that movie will disappoint because everyone's upset that they're even making it. I don't think it'll make $1 billion. I think Toy Story 5 is going to miss $1 billion. That's my prediction. Death from the Last Wish. That's a good villain. I liked him. Although I actually like the director more. Dr. Facilier? Eh. Syndrome. I do like Syndrome, but again, he's kind of an old villain. Cruella. Oh, did you guys see Cruella with Emma Stone? I saw that movie. That's actually really good. I don't even consider it a Disney remake because it's not really remaking 101 Dalmatians. It's its own thing, but it's a very good movie. Um, you just binged Toy Story. Oh, that's a good binge. Yeah, Toy Story should have ended at 3. I have a bad feeling about Toy Story 5. You know what? Because I just did the whole live stream on Wednesday where I was going over all the movies coming out later this year. I also decided to look ahead for next year, and I think next year also looks really bad for movies, so oof. Hollywood is gonna be in real trouble. Um, I'm also nervous about Deadpool 3, guys. I don't know how many of you in the comments follow Marvel or care about Deadpool 3, but I'm also nervous that's not gonna make a billion. And if that misses a billion, oh man, that might actually be the end of Marvel. I don't know. I just have a bad feeling about next year, movie wise. Yeah, Toy Story 5 isn't necessary. I can't wait for the live action Avatar. Where is it? I feel like it's taken forever to get here. I've been hearing about this show for years. And I can't wait for the animated movies that are coming out too, but where are they? Auntie says, what would even happen in Toy Story 5? I feel like the plot will be pretty surface level. Didn't Toy Story 4 end with Woody and Buzz going their separate ways? I mean, that was a pretty final ending. Why do they do it? Happy early birthday. I already had my birthday. My birthday was actually about a month ago. um, yeah, there's 10 Saw movies. I don't understand it, but there's 10. Yeah, I hope DreamWorks gets their streak back too. I just want animation in general to do well. Oh, Yellow Umbrella. Yes, I'm glad you liked Cruella. But again, that's a really old movie. It seems like you guys mostly agree, though, that there haven't been a lot of good villains across the board lately, because most of these villains you guys give me are from movies that are 10 years old or older. Oh, thank you, Jay. Um, the Prince, that Mufasa movie, are you gonna watch it? So I posted a post on my community page talking about the Mufasa movie that's coming out next year. Man, if you guys didn't know, Disney is making a prequel of the live-action remake from the Lion King movie that they made a couple years ago. They're making a prequel to that movie. Yeah. The movie that I absolutely hate because none of those characters can emote. They're just like CGI horror creations, and we're just supposed to buy into this world, but I never did. But now we're getting a prequel to that. So yeah, you guys looking forward to Mufasa? It's a real movie that's coming. A whole movie about Mufasa coming next July. Oh, you guys didn't know this? Yeah. Okay, Amy says Mufasa can be good, so we have one person with hope. I'm glad I have attracted such positive subscribers. I love this. I'm glad you guys are or at least some of you guys are hopeful. But most of you guys are not looking forward to this. Yep. Connor says they need to give it up. I think they do. Andy Lynn says they're wasting their money. Yeah, I think Mufasa's gonna flop. Who the heck wants to see that? Yeah. You guys didn't know about Mufasa? I'm gonna do probably start one of the first videos I'm probably gonna do at the start of next year is I'm gonna go over all the 2024 movies. And you guys are gonna see. I think it's gonna be another really brutal year. I'm not gonna lie, I think Hollywood is in for it. And it's all their own doing. Disney fell off after 2016. I feel like it's after 2019. 2019 was their peak, but I don't know if they're ever going to get back to that. Or it's gonna be a very, very long time for Disney to get back to that peak. I think Kung Fu Panda 4 will do well. Um, I think that has good potential. I'm glad you like my videos, Desiree. I'm sure they're gonna make it on Kanto too. They're gonna do all sorts of things. I mean, I could mention just a few of the things that are coming out 2024. Let me see. Because you guys are asking. Because it's not good. I'm not going to go over the whole thing because it's a lot, but I'm just going to mention some of the movies and you're going to be like, why? Because that's how I was. Alright. Just looking through these now. So, the first, like, quarter of 2024 is looking very bare. Like, January and February is hardly anything coming out. And then in February, we have Madam Web, which, if you know what that is, it's another Spider-Man less Spider-Man movie. I don't think anyone's gonna see that, but eh. I don't know. Is anyone looking forward to Madam Web? That's like the biggest movie to come out in the first couple months of the year. That's how dire it is. It's not gonna be good. Um Jamie says, how will Encanto's two songs compared to the original? I don't know. They have a lot to live up to. Stitch horror movie. Oh god. I hope not. Nope. Yeah, I know. I can't believe they're doing a live action Stitch either. So most of you guys are not looking forward to the Madam Web movie. And it's like the biggest movie of the first couple months of the year. This is what I mean when I say 2024 is not looking good. Because then in March, you got Elio, but I don't think that's going to do well for Pixar. And thankfully, you got Kung Fu Panda 4, which I think will do really well. But then we got Godzilla vs. Kong, and I don't know if that... Are you guys looking forward to the Godzilla vs. Kong 2 movie? Because honestly, I didn't like the first one. I think that one's going to flop pretty big. Yeah, Elio seems meh, says Past Analysis. Desiree says 2022 was a good year for movies. I agree. I agree. Oh, hi, Shaham. Thank you. That's really nice. Nope. Oh, most of you are saying no to this one, too. Oh, no. Mellow Marsh says I live under a rock. It's not you. I think it's Hollywood. She's just not getting the word out about these movies. Yeah, it's a dead franchise. I agree. All right. And then we have the live-action Snow White movie starring Rachel Zegler as Snow White. I also think that could underperform because I don't think people are really into these live-action remakes anymore. So that's not good. So we're in like the first 3 months of the year so far, and I already see a lot of bombs coming, which is not good. Not good at all. Like literally the biggest movies of next year. I'm not going to include Beyond the Spider-Verse because I think that's going to move. You got Deadpool 3, which I already said I'm afraid could underperform. Inside Out 2, maybe? Did you guys know that they're making a sequel to Inside Out 2? That's coming out next year? That's something. Yellow Umbrella says, ugh, don't get me started on Snow White live action. Yeah, I don't think the Snow White live action's gonna do well. I think, other than the live action Moana, I think all live action remakes are probably gonna flop right now. Yeah, they also race swapped the lead for Snow White. They casted a Latina actress. And I'm wondering if that's going to cause the same backlash as what Halle Bailey got for The Little Mermaid. Because they also race swapped that one too. So that's going to be a whole thing. Yeah, they're also doing Inside Out too. I love how you guys didn't know that either. Yeah, anyone interested in Inside Out too? Desiree says, I feel like Elio might flop. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I was trying to be very positive and hopeful about the trailer when I reacted to it, but more time passes, the more I'm like, I don't know. And then we get Despicable Me 4. I think that'll do well. For sure. But then we have, like, Captain America New World Order, which is another Marvel movie that I'm not too sure is gonna do well, because it doesn't have doesn't have Chris Evans as Captain America. So I don't know. It's just, I don't. It's not looking good. I've seen a lot of really big potential bombs next year. Oh God. Wanda says, I thought Inside Out 2 was a rumor. No, it's not a rumor. It's a real movie that's coming out next year. No, it's real. It's happening. I can't wait for Shrek 5. That's like the one sequel I'm actually looking forward to. Marvel is dead, says Nick. Oof. That's rough. Do you guys think the Captain America movie's gonna do well next year? Because I don't know. I'm a little nervous about it. The Loathsome Daughter says, I didn't even know there was a Captain America movie coming out. Who was Captain America? It's the Falcon. The actor who plays the Falcon is now Captain America. So that's what's gonna be. And I don't think Harrison Ford's gonna make people want to go see the movie because no one saw Indiana Jones. Yeah, no. Oh God, most people are saying no to Captain America. That's not good. Okay, guys, I'm already in August, and I'm still searching for like big movies. There's an Alien movie, yet another Alien movie. Anyone care about that? They're making a sequel to Beetlejuice, the movie from the 80s. At least it's got Jenna Ortega in it. Joker 2 comes out next year. That could do well. I'm actually looking forward to that just because of Lady Gaga's in it. I don't know if they're doing Encanto 2. They haven't announced that yet. Scream 7, yes, that is next year. Oh, Arvin says, what is an alien movie? To be fair, I've only seen like half of the first Alien film. I think this is why these, like, doing remakes and sequels to all these really old movies is not working anymore. Because I think a lot of younger audiences now just have no idea what these franchises are. They've never even heard of them. They didn't know Indiana Jones, they don't know Alien. It's not looking good. Yes, Wicked is coming out next year. I'm looking forward to Wicked. I think that could be huge, actually. I'm looking forward to Wicked probably more than any other film next year. Yeah, I'm going through it. There's another Gladiator movie coming out next year. At least that's got Pedro Pascal in it. Then there's the Thunderbolts, the Marvel movie. I'm not sure about that one. Yeah. Those are like some of the biggest movies coming out next year. That's it. I'm a little worried. Not gonna lie. I'm hoping there's just more I don't see on here, because out of all of those I just mentioned, I don't know. 2024 could be a really bad year. Oh, I'm looking forward to Nosferatu. What is that? I really don't pay attention to the horror genre. So I'm sorry if you guys, sometimes I notice a couple of you guys like ask me to mention something about a horror movie and I'm just like, I don't pay attention to horror movies. I'm sorry. Um Denzel's going to be in Gladiator 2 also. I didn't know that. Okay, so Gladiator might do really well. Looks like it has some star power. Wonka's coming out this year. I'm very excited for Wonka. Neil said, who the hell asked for a sequel to Gladiator? Well, you're getting it. You may not have asked for it, but you're getting it. Oh, thank you, official joke mobs. So I just went through the whole year next year. Do you guys think it sounds like a good year for movies? Are you looking forward to things next year? Because I don't know. I'm looking at it and it just looks very empty. Arvin, what is Gladiator? Are you being for real or are you just asking? Honestly, I've never seen the original Gladiator, so I can't even really tell you. I just know that it's an old, I think it's Romans, right? I don't know. I should probably watch the original. Alright, so I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then that'll be it for the stream today. Thank you everyone for coming out. I know it was last minute. I didn't announce it too far ahead, but thank you for everyone who was able to make it. I'm glad I'm doing more of these live streams. I'll see you again on Monday. I don't know what we'll be talking about on Monday, but we'll have another live stream then. But yes, let me do a few more questions, and then that'll be it. Michael often says the only movies I think could do good in 2024 is Kung Fu Panda, Leo, and Inside Out. So you think animation is going to do really well next year? That could be the case. That'd be really interesting if 2 years in a row, because this year we have Mario and Spider Verse, which are going to be two of the biggest movies of the year. But it also looks like next year we could see even more animated films that could make it to the top of the list. So that's really exciting for animation. Um, are you guys calling me your movie news reporter? Oh, that's cute. Thank you. Okay, you're looking forward to Inside Out 2 and Snow White. Okay. Oh, Final Destination 6. I forgot that one. Yes, thank you, Amy. I'm actually looking forward to the Final Destination movies. I've always had a soft spot for that franchise, so I might actually watch that one. Oh, thank you, Elena. Um, Snow White might be a sleeper hit. Not. Oh, I was about to say. I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith for that one. Oh, hi, Nicholas. Thank you for the super chat. Very appreciated. Nice seeing you too. Yes, and Sonic 3. I think animation is slowly starting to take over Hollywood. And here's why. I think with the mixture of anime and video games, a lot of like young kids right now spend more time watching things that are animated than live action. And I think as they grow up, I don't think those tastes are going to change. I think that animation is only going to become more and more mainstream and more popular. But that's my theory anyway. Oh, thank you, Mello. Glad you guys like my videos. Bye, official joke mobs. I'm almost done. This is your first live stream, Nick. Oh, I'm glad you like it here. What do I think of the live action Moana, says Philip. I don't know. I think that whole movie is just a vanity project for The Rock because he was embarrassed by the Black Adam flopping. I think that's the whole reason that movie exists is because The Rock wanted I think The Rock thought a live action Moana would be a sure hit, and I think after Black Adam flopped, he was like, let's do the live action Moana," and he and his production company made it happen. I'm like 99% sure that's what happened. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be the Rock show, the whole thing. I think Maui's gonna be like the main character. Michael says live action Moana isn't necessary. Yeah, I think most people would have preferred a sequel to Moana than live action. Yes, I know Ariana Grande plays Glinda in Wicked, and I just saw Wicked on Broadway a couple weeks ago. Oh, that movie, show is so good. It's a really good musical, guys. I'm very excited for the movie. Brittany, your live streams are the epitome of live streams. What does that mean? I hope that's a compliment. All right, two more questions, and then that's it. Do you think Wish will attract the same audience as Frozen? I think it entirely depends on the music. If the music can be really good and get people like talking, if TikTok say loves the soundtrack like they did with Encanto, yes, I could maybe see it becoming a big hit. But I think it's entirely going to depend on the music. All right, one more question. Um, Arvin says, "Have you seen the fan arts of the Rock's Maui version? That's creepy as hell." Yeah, I also think we're gonna have a Moana series. Aren't we having a Moana series? They announced it a while ago. But yeah, I can't imagine the Rock with the long Maui hair. I don't know. I think he's gonna look crazy. Maybe he'll look good. I don't know. We can always be shocked, but do you guys think that The Rock with long flowy hair dancing around with a tutu made of leaves is gonna look good? I don't know. Some things probably should just stay animated. That's all I'm saying. Um, but that was it. That was the last question. Thank you everyone for coming to my channel. Again, thank you for doing these live streams. I'm gonna be doing more of these every week. I'm gonna launch memberships next week, so look out for that. Really excited for that. And I'll see you guys on the live stream on Monday.